Have you
You
guys
missed
met
the.
Beverly yet?
No, we have not. We were actually
Oh,
all.
surprise, surprise, surprise.
Am I the only female in this manly group?
No, we got another one,
We got
Christina.
Christina.
All right, there she is. Her picture wasn't there.
I'm the
Oh.
token female.
Girl power.
That's right. John's hair is getting pretty long, so, you know.
I'm halfway there.
He's halfway there. He's trying to represent. Cool. So we got a bunch of people jumping on. We're getting ready to go live on Facebook. I want to welcome all of our guests. April, how you doing? Dvork, hope you're doing awesome. Jenny, hope you're doing great. Leona, nice to see you here. Mary, hello. Hope you're doing awesome. Let us know you're live. Say hello back. To be awesome. Let us know you're there. You're listening. You're tuned in. We have an awesome special guest here who is absolutely dominated the prospecting and lead conversion world, especially when it comes to internet leads. And so we're going to be talking about continue our series here on prospecting and lead conversion secrets. And Beverly's here with us to help us get kicked off on, you know, coming from a little bit of a different angle, you know, very similar backgrounds, experiences, which is nice. Anytime you meet somebody who really understands the fine art of prospecting and lead conversion, it's refreshing. So Beverly, I'm excited to have you with us here today. We're going live on Facebook. We got a bunch of people watching on Facebook and some people also here in this private group session. So Beverly, just give us a little bit about your background before we go ahead and get started.
So happy to be here. And yes, you are right. And I think when we met, I'm like, how didn't we know each other?
Yeah, that's right.
We
That's
occupy the same space.
Yeah, absolutely.
The real estate world's so big, but yet so small. Yeah. I had actually early in 2008 really adapted to the internet and internet lead gen. And I was the lead whore, right? Like, okay, I got Tiger Lead, and I got to get Commissions Inc., and I got to buy my certified location, right? Mm-hmm. And I had to make it work. I hated calling leads. I got all these leads, and I'm paying all this freaking money, and I'm like, okay, now what do I do? And, you know, you look at the phone, and I'm looking at the notes, and I'm giving myself every reason why I shouldn't call them because they're not answering the phone. And I had more fear of not succeeding than actually what was going to happen on the other end of the phone. So I had to make it work. I didn't have a choice. And lo and behold, about 4 or 5 years later, that became my baby. And putting systems together, realizing that the inside sales position, nobody really ever developed a system. So it was failing horribly in the industry. So I was putting a system together. And that's when Commissions Inc. found me and said, hey, do you want to come and join our team and train our agents? So I did train with Commissions Inc. for a couple of years and broke away and started my own business and was very, very lucky to be able to work with Gabe over at FirePoint and Jesse at Torchex and Ado over at Agent Locator and Ben at Sierra. So I've been able to build best practices in all of these lead gen sites really to create the efficiency model. So you're not spending hours upon hours. You just go in, get what you need done, and get out. Having the conversations, asking the right questions, and making it happen.
Awesome. Who here likes the sound of converting leads faster and making it easier and more fun? Who likes the sound of that?
Oh yeah.
For sure. So great. That's awesome. So let's kind of dive into today's topic. I'm going to share my screen. What we're going to do is just give everyone an idea on what we're going to go through. Is we're going to do a quick refresher on the seven steps for prospecting and follow up. And then what we're going to do is do a little bit of role play when it comes to converting an internet lead. So Beverly's going to role play with us here a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make some calls, live calls. We're going to actually prospect live. And then we'll make sure, if just as a reminder, if you have a deal that you're trying to negotiate right now or work out, or you've got an appointment you're about to go on, feel free to, for the last 10 minutes to bring that to the table and have our growth coach Ron Mazza go over that scenario with you to see if we can help you convert that opportunity into a contract or a listing. So starting off, quick review. So the 7 steps are all built to, you know, this form here. I'm going to share my screen and give me the thumbs up, guys, if you can see my screen. Everyone see it okay? All right, so this simple form, if this is your first time getting on with us, has changed my business. It changed my income, and I teach it all over the country now. And it's a very simple but powerful concept where if you just take these 7 steps or 7 strategies, make sure they're incorporated as much as possible in every prospecting scenario that you're running into, and every presentation, your conversion is going to skyrocket. You're going to your income will skyrocket with it, and also you have a simple duplicatable system. So when you're hiring a team, you're bringing on agents or you're bringing on an inside sales agent, you have something to kind of focus on and coach to, because lead conversion, in my opinion, is the #1 problem in our industry. It's the #1 problem. It used to be hard to generate leads. We didn't have enough leads. The internet changed that, obviously. Great lead generation companies changed that. Some of them aren't so great. Some of them are great. And now, really, at the end of the day, it's having the people, the process, and the tools come together to maximize the lead conversion. So if you look here, you got building rapport and qualifying. We talked about that. We took a deep dive in that 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we talked about building value, making sure that you're presenting value the right way. And then we talked about creating desire and urgency. Telling stories, understanding the different ways to create urgency with what's happening in the market, with what's happening in interest rates, with what's happening with homes available, creating an urgency to move, to act, right? And today we're going to talk a little bit about assuming the appointment, or what I call a trial close, and also too how really there's many closes that can happen throughout a call by getting yeses. You want to get as many yeses in a call as you possibly can, depending on where that call is going. So let's just have an open dialogue with everybody here. And I want to go over best practices, just really hone in on the appointment. Why is it, and Beverly, I'll just hand it over to you. Why is it important not to leave that appointment at the end too open-ended, right, where they can wiggle out, versus assuming the appointment? And what does that language sound like? If you could kind of pick it up from there. I know I'm putting you on the spot. None of this has been pre-scripted or anything, but let's just roll with it.
No, we just go on the fly. It always comes down to expectation. I say I can get someone's social security number if you're warm and fuzzy enough and you can convince them to give you a number. But if we don't have the right conversations, there's a difference between an opportunity and qualifying and an appointment. You can have an appointment, but is it a qualified appointment? And getting those right dynamics about the lead before it gets to the appointment. Because if they don't have any reason why to come to an appointment, why are they going to come to an appointment?
Right.
And I learned that quickly because it was easy to set appointments, then people just don't show up. Well, why aren't they showing up? Because you're not having the right conversation and you're not setting the expectation of why the appointment needs to show up.
That's strong. That's good. So let's say that you got the appointment or you've had a good conversation. You're getting ready to ask for the appointment. Do you ask for the appointment, or do you enroll them into the appointment? How do you do it?
I'm so tactical with the subliminal messages whenever I talk to people, because does this sound like a good idea? Does this sound like something that would work for you? We don't want to put the cart before the horse. I want to make sure that we're going to protect your investment and save you the most amount of money possible and be respectful to not go over your budget. However, in order to do that, the best way is to speak with a lender. Does that sound like something that would work for you? Yes. Okay, well, this is how we do that.
Right.
And even with buying a home, most people are only looking feet indoor 4 to 5 homes. So the more I know about your situation and your wants and your needs, and oh, by the way, if you're a husband and wife, I can guarantee you're not looking at the same expectations in the home. So I want to talk to husband, I want to talk to wife, and I want to talk about what y'all don't want together so we can process of eliminate and not show certain homes and save you time.
Right.
Does that sound like something that would work for you?
That's awesome. And so what I'm hearing is you're getting a positive response or a yes response before you even ask for the appointment. And then because they're giving you that response, then the appointment's just a natural part of the process. It's just the next step, right?
The expectation is set,
right,
and they know why they're showing up and what to expect at the appointment.
Right.
And
huge.
I always do clarify, hey, I know this might not be a priority for you at this juncture. However, if something were to come up and your best friend called you for a beer, I totally understand that. Just please respect my time, respect your time, and just let me know if anything were to change. It's okay. We can change that time.
That's awesome. That's really great. And what's even cooler is, even though we've never exchanged scripts, we have the almost exact language at the bottom of our script about making sure that that it gets put in the calendar, there's respect to time, and then that because the agent spends a lot of time in preparation, right, getting ready for the appointment. So very similar psychology. So that's awesome. That's great.
Because it works.
Yes, it does.
We've done it the wrong way. That's how we figured it out.
That's right. And it's interesting because, you have in the insights we all come from different backgrounds. What's really great about inside sales, or what's really great about once you get in the rhythm, if you're an agent and you learn to prospect consistently, and you get in that rhythm, everything's relatively predictable, right? Like you're only going to get the same 5 objections, right? Or 6 objections. And then from there, it's about analyzing your metrics. And that's what I like about this sheet is if you're not getting the desired result. So for example, if you're not getting any listings, if you're setting up appointments and your appointments aren't showing, right? That's what I love about this document, going back to page 70 here. Let me see if I can get back to it, because you can analyze why it's not happening. And it's pretty clear. You didn't have the right conversation. You didn't set the right expectations, right? You didn't build enough urgency, right? All those different things go back to one of these 7 steps. So that's really, really awesome.
And the importance of recording your conversations. I recorded, and that's what made me realize what I was doing wrong, because you go back and listen to it and you're like, why the hell didn't I say that? That was dumb. I didn't even ask this question. So always play Monday morning quarterback with your own phone calls.
That's awesome. That's great. Cool. Does anybody else from the panel want to add anything to?
I'd like to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I love that last comment, because years back in another environment, I used to teach telephone sales training. And the number one thing was record your conversation. And I remember I was coaching this one lady. She was a top producer. And she said, I'm good. I know I'm good. I'm signing up all these people. So you got to record it and listen to it. And then she finally came after 3 months later to a coaching session and says, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. And I think her name was like Sharon. I said, what do you mean? I finally did what you said. I recorded my conversation. I can't believe I'm so bad. I mean, she picked up everything she was doing wrong, but in the midst of the battle, you think you're perfect. So record and listen.
It's so true. And I would rather, there's when it comes to improving your skills and when it comes to your livelihood, there should be no pride in bad or good, right? It should be just a focus on getting the best result. I mean, it's your money on the line, right? It's your business on the line. And so sometimes I think I'm glad you brought that up, Beatty, because sometimes we get too emotional, right, about the process, or like we get embarrassed about, oh, well, you know what? Or maybe we get defensive, even though we know that wasn't a best practice. Like if we're in a group environment or we're role playing, we can get defensive, and all those things shut down your money stream, right? They shut down your money stream. They shut down your ability to make income and grow and get better. And I think one of my coaching friends, he says the difference between somebody who is really good at prospecting and lead conversion and somebody who's not is somebody who has a fixed mindset, right? The know-it-all mindset, the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. I love working with people that have that growth mindset, because you can collaborate. You're learning from each other. Like I guarantee, Beverly, if we prospect, I'd be listening to every word you're saying for the cues. Even though I've been doing it for 15 years, I'm still going to listen for every little tone, how you come across. Like, oh wow, you said it that way, because you can never. That's the greatest thing, is you've never arrived, right? And so I think what happens, one of the biggest mistakes is realtors. To Beatty's point, we're sometimes so caught up in our own world, we're not even listening to our own calls or trying to learn and grow, like, and gain that knowledge from our peers, right? So we want to put you guys in an environment. I want to wrap up this session on creating urgency for the trial close, making sure you assume an appointment with just doing a quick role play on how we do it, how it should sound. Mark, and if you would, if Didio can come on, and you and Didio can do a quick role play on how that appointment should get wrapped up. So number one, you assume the appointment, and then you make sure the expectations are set properly so that appointment shows up. Okay. And solidifying that appointment. I think that'd be great to do some role play. So kind of hop halfway down through maybe like a FSBO script or an expired script so they can hear what that language sounds like. And then Beverly, if you're open to it, I'd love to hear how you do it on your end after you set up an appointment. We can do some role play after that. So the floor is yours. Now, Didio, just so you guys know, John Didio, I've been blessed to work with this guy for a long time. Through his appointments, he's closing 7 to 10 properties per month on average with his appointment set. So he knows what he's doing. He's awesome. So Didio, the floor is yours.
All right. So do you want me to just start like right at the tie down?
Yeah, I think that's a good place. Yeah.
All right.
I'll be your homeowner.
Okay. So Mark, I mean, obviously if there's a way that, we could help you get this property sold, downsize, and net that 150 that you were looking for, that's definitely a conversation worth having, right?
Yeah. I mean, can you guarantee it?
It's not something that I can guarantee, but with the way the market is, I'm pretty sure you've probably seen most of the properties are moving in less than a week, a lot of them with multiple offers with the right exposure. So what I'd like to do is just have John stop out and just talk with you, just kind of like a discovery meeting, so you could build some dialogue with somebody who's got over 30 years in the business. The only thing we really ask of you is at the end of the day, if the numbers do make sense, just keep an open mind to listing with him if you decide you want to put it on the market. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay. So what typically works better for you? I have him in the area tomorrow and also Thursday. Is it better in the morning or the afternoon?
We work, so it's more evening.
Okay. So you mentioned I assume you and your wife will be together in the evening?
She gets home about 6, so we're pretty good after that.
Okay, so let's do how about 7? I can do 7 o'clock.
Yeah, 7:30 is probably better.
7:30? Okay, let's do 7:30. What's your email? I'm gonna shoot you over an email. That way you could put a face with the name. That way you also know I'm not blowing hot air. He is who he is, and he is good as I said he is.
Yeah, hockey19@gmail.
Okay, and is this the best telephone number to reach you in case he just wants to call and introduce himself, or if he has any questions?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
And as I said, all we ask you to do is just keep an open mind. There's no expectations on either end. Do me a favor, just jot that in your calendar just so we don't forget, okay? Just so we can respect each other's time, because he's going to do about an hour's worth of preparation, just so we can run some, decent numbers for you, okay?
Fair enough.
All right, we'll see you then. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Awesome. Chris says that he loves all the trial closes and then Chris, could you clarify? So you said you love all the trial closes and then which closing them. So I want to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying, Chris. If you could clarify a little bit there, that'd be great. So while we're doing that, while Chris has added some clarity, if you notice, John did the exact thing that Beverly was talking about, where before he asked for the appointment, he really set what the expectations are, a little bit about what the meeting was going to be about, and what the goal is. If there's rapport there and the numbers make sense, that he's there, and you should be open-minded to listing the property with him. And then it's a natural progression to assume the appointment. So you didn't hear John say, "Oh, by the way, could he maybe, do you want to set up an appointment?" Like, or like, like you hear this a lot, right? You'll hear this weak, and I don't want to come across too bold, but that's what we call weak language, right? Where it's our responsibility as the fiduciary to stay and we think that setting that appointment is the best for them, it's our responsibility to come across powerful and strong and confident, that we don't have to run or get scared that we're setting up an appointment, right? And so I love the language that John used. So here's the thing. He's going to be in the area at this time. So what works better for you, this or this? It was very assumptive, right? He's not asking for the appointment. He's going to the logical next step, which is setting the appointment.
And one thing that I've found is giving a time, saying it's going to be the area around 4 unless 6 works better. Well, if 4 or 6 doesn't work better, then I have to find another time. That's why if I can find a time frame, right, morning or afternoon, yes, then I can set the availability.
That's awesome.
Versus just 2 choices and then having to go and say, well, does this work? Does this work? It doesn't. No. Well, how about this? I'll talk with my wife and I'll give you a call back and we'll let you know when it works. So I made that change 2 years ago and it made big difference in my numbers. Just that little change.
Yeah, that's huge. I love it. And that's when you can, with this kind of structure with the 7 steps, when you're analyzing it, you start making those tweaks, and those little tweaks turn into big money, where you have that growth mindset for the fixed mindset. So that's awesome. Jonathan, could you read off Chris's message here while I'm talking? Is that cool?
Sure.
I just want to keep the conversation going.
Pulled up here.
Get it pulled up. So Beverly, I'd love to hear kind of, you want to start off halfway through your script, and Mark, if you could be the buyer. I'm assuming is Mark, you want to do a buyer call?
Yeah, I can do a buyer.
Okay. Is that cool with you, Beverly?
That's cool with me.
All right. Cool. So we got a couple good questions in here. So go ahead, Jonathan. Why don't you go with Chris and then Dvorka before we continue?
Sure. So Chris was talking about how he really liked giving them one of the 2. Chris is writing like he's got a fantastic insight, but man, I'm trying to read this verbatim. Okay. Love all the trial closes and then which closing them. He which closed them, giving one of 2 of his objections, but still allowed for the client to choose. Trial closing, just getting a yes before asking for the business, assumes the appointment for sure, but maintains control over the sale. So what he's saying, he really liked how John entered the conversation and was assumptive enough to assume the appointment, which allowed the illusion of choice for the homeowner while still holding control of the conversation. And as John explained after, really making sure that he got through the to the appointment setting phase.
Yeah, that's awesome. That choice close is huge into an appointment.
And then Dvorka was talking about the conversation style, like including some hesitation with some ums or being more direct and firm, depend on the personality type of the person you're talking to. Should that shift from different types of lead or different types of personalities of the person that you're having the conversation with?
This is a great question. Beverly, I'd like you to field this one. When it comes to mirroring and matching tone, pace, hesitation, modulation based on the personality type, right? So I'm sure you got some awesome insight for us there.
It's huge. When I train ISAs, I really drive that fact home that on the other end of the phone, we have seconds for them to decide if they are going to hang up the phone or if they're going to continue the conversation. So when they answer the phone with a hello, it's really listening to that first initial, are they pissed off? Are they agitated? Are they in a good mood? Are they happy? Because I'm a very energetic, bubbly person. And if someone's pissed off, I piss them off even more with my positive energy.
Yeah.
So you really do have to kind of hone it down. And, I always say the best inside salesperson or the best person making the phone calls is that chameleon, where we can read the energy. And I think that's where the fear comes from, because we can't, if we walk into a party, we can see who we want to talk to or who we want to gravitate to. But when we're making phone calls, we can't see. We don't know what's going on there. And we really have to be able to listen to hear what's happening on the other end of the phone, to match and mirror and repeat.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Dvorka, it's active listening for sure, and then adjusting on the fly as much as you can to adapt your communication pattern to theirs, right? So if I'm talking to somebody that's talking really fast like this and they're blah, 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 I'm going to talk a little bit faster, right? And I'm going to try to mirror and match their tone. If I got somebody that may have a strong accent, I'm not going to go and just, try to be like an actor, but I'm going to shift, I'm going to shift how I communicate to sound a little bit more like them. I'm not going to sound like I'm calling from Boston, I could break rapport, right? So, I hope that answers your question, Dvorka. If you could give us a thumbs up if we answered your question, and if that gave you enough clarity. So yes, thanks. Okay, good, awesome, really good questions and good comments. Appreciate you guys interacting and staying focused here with us. So let's move into a full on role play, and then what we'll do is I know that. Actually, you know what? You got to go at 2, right, Bev?
I do. Yeah.
So we're going to shift things up a little bit. And Mark, I want you to have somebody, maybe one or two people, whoever you want to, turn up the dialer and start making some calls. And Beverly is going to treat us with the same thing. She's going to actually go into, I believe, your own account, right, and make some calls. Is that right? Or are you going to?
I'm ready to roll. I got
to roll.
Up. So okay. I'm like, Mark, where do you live? So I was getting ready. So Mark and I are not going to role play.
Yeah, because I'd like to role play, but I know you only have 20 minutes, so I want to get some calls in.
Okay.
If that's cool. And then
yeah, my dialer's ready to roll. I just got to hit start.
Okay, cool.
Do you want me to mute until I get somebody so we don't hear the ringing?
Yeah, that'd be really cool. And if it's not too much of a distraction, I'm gonna just kind of keep talking through a few things in the background while we're waiting for somebody to answer. If that's not too much of a distraction.
Okay.
So.
And
go ahead, Mark.
No, and John, you can start with yours. It's gonna go Didio, Drum, Vec, Cassell, Jabrell on our end. So,
okay.
John, you can start. Try to send your first for sale by owner. See if you get them.
And if I hear somebody start talking, I'm just gonna stop talking no matter what I'm saying.
Okay.
All
Isaiah, can you minimize that back to the?
Yeah. Can you not share the screen? It's slowing.
I can't get to. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Is that better?
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
All right. Can you guys hear the? Can you hear the ringing?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear it.
So Ron, as a recap, when we're out, at the appointment, you went over something really powerful last week.
Hey, I was trying to reach the owner of the property on Garfield.
What can I do for you?
Yeah, I saw your ad on Zillow. You're asking $249,900 for the 3-bedroom. Yeah, are you still taking offers, or has that property sold?
We're still taking offers.
Oh, okay, and you're doing it yourself, right? I don't see it's under contract with an agent or on the MLS or anything.
Correct.
Okay, my name's John. I didn't see a name on the ad. You are?
Tom.
Tom, it's nice to meet you. Tom, I know you've probably gotten a lot of calls from realtors. I just want to give you a heads up. I'm not a realtor. I do work with RE/MAX though. I look for properties for one of the top brokers in the area. His name's John Modine. He wanted me to reach out to you and get some information about the house. I don't want to take too much of your time, okay? Is everything in the ad here correct? 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,432 square feet?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, that price of the $249,900, did you base this off of comps, or did you have an appraisal done recently?
It's a combination of things.
Okay, it's a
there's more to it than the 1432. The basement is finished or partially finished, I guess you would call it.
Okay.
And there's the large pool out back, and everything's been redone. So.
Okay. Is it an investment property for you, or is this your primary residence?
Investment.
Okay. I was going to say, this is a nice house. So is this something that you did as a flip, and you just, trying to take advantage of the market, the way it is right now?
I mean, why is that relevant, really? I just these questions that you guys always ask, it makes me wonder why.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I don't know if you're aware of what's going on with the market right now, but I mean, obviously everybody buys in the spring. COVID kind of threw a wrench into everyone's plans, and basically buyers have flooded the market right now. Buyers are paying a premium because they're really trying to take advantage of the lowest interest rates in history. We're seeing a lot of properties getting multiple offers and selling in less than a week with the right exposure. I'm sure you probably agree with me. The more exposure your home gets, the more buyers you get, the more money you're going to put in your pocket, right? So, I mean, Tom, if there's a way you could kind of open yourself up to a larger portion of the market, right? Still get at least that 249.9 or potentially even more because there's very little inventory on the market. That's a conversation worth having, right? As long as you get your price.
Yep.
Okay. So as I said, I'm calling on behalf of John Modine. John Modine has been in the industry over 30 years. The reputation that he has in this industry, when he puts a property out there, it sells twice as fast as the market average, and he typically puts 3 to 6% more in a homeowner's pocket. He sold over 700 homes just in the last 2 years. And at the end of the day, he's actually going to be meeting some people in the area tomorrow and Friday. If you have some time, I'd love for him just to stop by and talk with you, just kind of like a discovery meeting, no expectations or anything like that. Are you typically around in the mornings or the afternoons just to show him the property for 15, 20 minutes?
Afternoons, but I'll tell you, I am meeting with other agents. So I am meeting with agents, and I'm going to get opinions.
Tom,
so it's not going to be an easy,
Tom, I encourage you to do that. The reason being, in this market, 90% of the business is done by 10% of the agents. Most of them are going to throw a sign in the yard and hope the property sells itself. You want to do your research and do your due diligence and make sure if you do put it on the market, you made the best decision for yourself and you get the most out of the property. But I can tell you right now, he averages selling a house every day for the last 2 years. And if he doesn't feel confident that he can get you a price, he's not even going to ask you to list. But like I said, he'll be out that way tomorrow. You said the afternoons are better for you. I can do 2 o'clock unless.
Tomorrow I have a prior commitment that I don't know how many hours it's going to take out of the afternoon. So Friday would be better.
Okay, Friday. Morning or the afternoon?
Afternoon, like after 1.
Okay, let's do 2 o'clock.
Okay.
All right. What is your email? I'm going to shoot you an email. That way you can put a face with a name so you know who I'm talking about is, who he is, and he's totally legit.
You can use QL QLV at USA.com.
At USA.com. Okay.
Back, Lima Victor at USA.com.
Okay, the 8747, is that the best number to reach you?
Yep.
All right. All we ask is at the end of the day, if the numbers do make sense and you feel confident in his ability to get the job done and you do decide to put it on the market with someone, just keep an open mind to listing with him. That's all we ask. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
All right. We'll see you on Friday, okay? You have yourself a great day, Tom.
Great.
All right.
At the address, I'm assuming.
Yes, at the property. And once again, his name is John Modine.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Oh, okay. All right. You're welcome. Have a good one. Bye.
Awesome. So,
That
folks,
is how it's done.
that's right.
Did you see everyone golf clapping for you in the Zoom meeting? I don't know if you have your camera on.
That one was a lay down, though. There was no objection right there.
Yeah. Well, his objection was, this isn't going to be easy. I'm interviewing other agents, right?
Right.
Yep.
So, folks, though, hopefully, let's just break this call down a little bit. And I think, Beverly, I would love for them to hear you role play if you can't get somebody on the phone quick, because I want to, I want to hear your voice before we leave, because I've heard you. And but let's break this call down, and then maybe we can just, Bev, if nobody answers in between us breaking this call down, let's just switch back to a role play if that's okay with you. Okay. So John, let's break this call down. I'm going to share my screen quick. Again, go back to the 7 steps here. Here. All right. So what were you thinking, John? What did you hear as far as building rapport and qualifying? mirroring matching, what type of personality traits did you pick up with this guy?
So with this guy right away, I felt like he was going to be a yes, no type guy, one word answers. So I tried to get pretty much straight to the point, build some value, create a little bit of doubt in what he was doing, and and get that appointment. Anybody else, if they were a little bit more talkative, I would have joked around with them, but I didn't feel like that was that type of guy. And if I tried to do that, I would have lost him.
Right.
So
right. I agree. So it's pretty straight to the point. He wanted to know what's going on, and I love how you transition because, at that last question kind of set a trigger in him, right? So, but you did a really good job transitioning. So talk about us.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Beverly.
Unmute. Okay. Unmute.
Not in the next year.
Not in the next year. So where do you live right now?
St. Louis.
St. Louis. And what's bringing you down to the Navarre area?
I just like the water when there's not hurricane.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, today's not a great day to come to Pensacola area, right?
Right. What part are you in right now?
So, well, I actually live in Atlanta, and I work with our team that's in Pensacola that is in the midst of the storm.
Right on.
Yeah. So, Barb, as far as, your next year, is that something that is an absolute that you're going to make happen, or is that something that you want to make happen?
Not absolutely. I'll probably just go visit there. I like looking at the home stuff.
Wonderful. Well, Barb, all we want to do is be a source of information for you. You are going to be receiving emails from the rushing team. So if anything were to come up, if anything were to change, we just want to be a resource here for you, okay?
All right, sounds good.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
She just wasn't ready.
I didn't know if you wanted me to could you all hear?
Yeah. Missed kind of the first part of it because you were muted, but it's okay.
She lives in St. Louis. She's not ready until next year. And that's where I went in and said, is that an absolute, or is that like something you just want to happen? Because I'm not going to send that over to an agent if it's not going to be an absolute. She's just looking.
Okay. Isaiah, you're muted. Oh, there you go.
Unless we're within 3 months, or they're within like a 3-month period, we're hesitant to set it over. There's other qualifications. So what do you consider a qualified appointment? That's that makes sense for an agent to work. Bev, can you hear me?
So
no, that's okay.
One more time.
No, that's okay. So I want to know what your definition of a qualified appointment is.
She would have been qualified if it was something that she was definitely going to make happen next year. Mm-hmm. I would have put her in a nurture and let the agent know she's not a right now, but she is. If you do all the right things between now and next summer, you will get to the table with her, because I always say the one that has the conversation and gets clarity is setting themselves up for future appointments and really building that pipeline, because we need to know.
For you to set an in-person appointment, what are the qualifications that you have to get before you're going to turn that over to the agent?
Sure. So I like to know what their current situation is right now. Do you own a home? Do you rent? How long have you been in your home? If you're renting, are you month to month, or are you on a lease term? Because I want to know time frame. And then the expectations of how much are you paying a month on your mortgage or on your rent, because I want to make sure that they're looking at the right price range for where they are. And do you want to stay at that number, or do you want some flexibility? Because I want to take their temperature on their seriousness. And once I get that nailed down, are there any concerns that you have on financing? How do you look at financing? Is it going to be cash, or is it going to be financing? This is the biggest question that I love that is missed, is the price range that you're looking within. Do you have any idea what your mortgage payment would be at that price range? Nobody knows.
That's a strong question.
And that's your lead.
That's a strong question.
that's your lead, and say, awesome. Well, here's what I want to make sure that we don't do.
Yeah.
I do not want to stretch your budget. So I want to make sure that we're looking within your parameters. Would it be a good idea right now for you to talk to somebody about seeing what these numbers are looking like for you? Because we all know for you to make a purchase, it's about meeting expectations. So we have to find you a property that's going to meet your monetary expectations, and we want to make sure we can do that. So that's my strength in the actual appointment. I like to tee it up to the lender and then let them take it from there.
Awesome. So do you give it to the lender first before you set up an appointment with the agent, or do you do that simultaneously?
Well, depending on the team that I work with, I send it over to the agent, and I encourage the agent, because then the agent has to babysit the lender to make sure the lender does their due diligence.
Right.
So, you know, if the lender, some of the websites, they have the lender partner in there, and then I will tag the lender and the agent and make each of them hold each other accountable.
Right.
To make sure that that happens.
So you send it to the agent first, if I'm hearing you correctly.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
Goes directly to the agent, right? Yeah. Awesome. Well, I love that language, because you're giving them another reason to meet with the agent besides just looking at a home, yeah. Right? And that's extremely powerful, because, you know, the more reasons that you're solving more than one problem at one time, which is that stacking effect is going to, in my mind, is going to give them a bigger reason or a better reason to want to meet and show up to that appointment, right?
Well,
so
you're explaining to them that there might be a problem before they even realize, yeah. Right? It's like, yeah. I'm gonna plant these seeds of doubt.
Yep.
So that you question, because even when they say I have an agent, well, great. How do you know your agent? And you know, I gotta sleep at night, so I just have to know. Just for my own sense of security, are you, this is 2020, right? Have you realized every single person has a real estate license? You're gonna go, yeah? Well, I just wanna make sure that you know that your agent is working in your 100% best interest and they're protecting your investment. Can you tell me with 100% certainty that you feel that? And you would not believe how many say no. They're like, well, I only met with them one time. And I said, well, have they sat down and explained to you the market dynamics and what is in your best interest and asked you exactly what your expectations are? No. Would you give us the opportunity to earn your business? That's all I'm asking. I don't want to take business away from anybody. I'm just asking if you would meet with us once just to earn that opportunity. You created the seed of doubt. Yep. Now you created.
That's right. That's awesome. I love it. Love it. So that's great. She's got to go in 2 minutes. So I want to ask, for those of you that are listening, just got clear of an appointment. I'm here now. Oh, Donnie, good to have you, brother. Good to have you. So let's, I want to get anyone who's chatting or listening right now, I want to give you guys an opportunity, either the ISA's listening or the agent's listening, give you guys an opportunity to ask we got time for 1 or 2 questions, probably 1 question for Beverly, and then she's got a roll for today. But Beverly, can I twist your arm to come back next week?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
We
awesome.
have a sick disease, Isaiah, that
yes.
we can't get enough.
That's right. Awesome. Looking forward to having you back then. So what questions we got for Beverly, quick?
No pressure.
So Beverly, from what I learned from Mark before we got on this webinar here, you really specialize in more internet buyer and seller leads?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So say I get a lead that comes through my hopper, right? And you know, there's a lot less information than what I really need. What would be a good way to kind of lead into a conversation that is kind of geared towards both sides if I don't really know whether it's clear if it's a buyer or seller?
Great
question. The way I've learned is we have to be very direct with our very first question. I think you probably all missed it. All you need to know is where the lead came from. Are they a home evaluation? Are they Facebook? Are they Google? Are they this, that, or whatever? And take them right to that. Where it's, hey, Dave, I saw that you were online looking at homes in Bop. Hey, Dave, I saw that you were requesting a value on 123 Main Street. Pause.
Okay.
and let them say something, because then you've now identified exactly why you're calling. So you've dropped that defensive wall.
Mhm.
So once you go, hey, Dave, I saw that you were online looking at homes in Pensacola. What's your situation? What exactly are you looking for?
Okay.
And some people
Makes
go,
sense.
what do you mean by situation?
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Well, where do you live?
That's what I get
now?
on.
Like, do you
Yeah.
own? Do you rent? So sometimes you have to nudge them, but that's
Mhm.
that's the quickest lead in to get them to talk.
Okay. Cool. That definitely helps.
Wonderful. And I will see you all next week.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Isaiah,
Great,
thank
Beverly.
you so much.
Yeah, glad to have you. Looking forward
Thank
to
you, Beverly.
talking again soon. Thanks. Cool. Awesome. So any other questions, thoughts before we move on to the next segment, which is negotiation and closing? We're going to talk about, we want you to bring your deals or appointments you're trying to convert to the table, bring your objections to the table, so we can hopefully help you win the buyer contract or close the deal and get the listing. So any questions though on the prospecting side before we transition here for the next 15 minutes, wrapping up?
Isaiah, are you okay if I get the ISAs going? We got another training with Lehman for the
Yeah.
tickets.
Yep. We're
Okay.
good. Yep.
Great. All right. You guys can all log off. I'll get in touch with you in just a second. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yes. So Christina asked, how did Donnie make out last week? Donnie, did the appointment show? Give us give us some feedback. He's probably typing right now. So Ron, while Donnie's typing, review with us the 6 conditions. Oh, you're on mute, brother. You're on mute.
6 conditions, no, 6 reasons.
Reasons.
6 reasons.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, okay.
I guess it's not a disease when you sell your house, is it?
No, it is not. I forgive you. All right.
You.
What it is price, terms, condition, location, marketing, and the agent you choose. And if you look at the first 5, it's all about the agent you choose. They're going to price it. They're going to talk about condition, location. The terms are, they're going to explain what's going on in the market with interest rates and things like that. And they're going to produce a marketing plan. That's what it's all about, the agent.
Awesome. So price, review it one more time. Price,
terms, condition, location, marketing, and the agent you choose.
Great. So how the heck do you bring that into a conversation at the closing
process? It's a process. First of all, in the order I gave you, that's not how you bring it in. You don't walk in and say, okay, I think your house is going to be this much money. That's not how this works. It's a process, and you have to bring all them in. What the way I said it just now, you're leading to. I believe, and I've heard this all through this whole session, which is wonderful. Everybody who's successful gives people choices. Nobody wants to make a decision, especially with a stranger. But if you give them choices, they'll continue the conversation. So I'm giving them a choice. So my lead in to get in the house is, okay, Mr. For Sale by Owner, you haven't sold it yet. Or Mr. Expired, you haven't sold it yet. So here's the 6 reasons a house will sell. Let's find out how many you had in your favor, and then let's work on the other ones that you didn't. And that usually goes, oh, okay, and then I'm in. So, but I'm going to go in there, and it's a process. You might want to talk about condition first thing. Oh, wow, it's a beautiful home. Or I love where it is. Just as long as you hit the 5 before the agent you choose. And by that time, you're the agent they choose.
Awesome. That's great. That's really great. So Lola just shot us a message through chat, Ron, saying they're following up with that lead from last week, and they think that it's no longer going to be a listing. It's going to be 2 listings, both new construction. She also said that it went from him being a grumpy old, you know what, to or I don't know if she said old, but grumpy, nasty.
What's the word old?
Yeah, nasty, and to really building a really great rapport with them and liking them a lot, and they think they're going to get $650,000 worth of listing. So that's really.
If you could go in and make a friend, you got it. Rapport, friendship, trust all goes together.
Johnny wants to make sure we know that it was his story there, and that Lola was helping him type because he couldn't type that fast on his cell phone. And
Okay, cool.
it's $650,000 each, so not just one. And so that's going to be a big payday if we can pull that one off, Donnie. That would be great.
I like it. That's awesome. So who else does anybody else have a deal they're working on? Any objections you guys are getting? Let's take advantage with the negotiation master over here, Mr. Ron Mazza, who has negotiated probably more deals than he'd like to admit. And you're still doing it, right, Ron? So you're helping agents all the time close deals. So
daily,
daily, so just because
than others.
Yep. So, all right. So we got Jenny Lynch, FSBO. I have a friend who's a realtor. Okay. I'll use them. I love this objection. This is great. So Ron,
let me ask Jenny, where are you? Are you in the house and then they tell you that?
Or are you over the phone?
Or are you on the phone?
Because it does, that's a really good point, Ron, because it does make a little bit of a difference.
On the phone, first call.
I have a good one.
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, I'm sure you know somebody in real estate. I mean, you own a house. And pretty much anybody that has a house knows somebody in real estate. It's either a friend or a family member or somebody you worked with in the past. But what you might not be aware of is in this market, 90% of the business is done by 10% of the agents. It's at least worth getting a second opinion from someone who's non-biased and has over 15 years in the business. That way, if you do decide to put it on the market, you could have the utmost confidence knowing you made the best decision for you and your family.
Can you tell he might have that one memorized and said it once or twice?
He's reading it.
Jenny Lynch says, "Bam." So, John, type that out.
Was that too wordy? Was it too wordy?
Well, no. I think look. They make it their own, right? So you take the concept of it and make it their own. So, type it out in the chat, John, for them, so they can get that language in the chat.
Oh, geez, it's going to be an essay.
That's okay. You can even bullet point it for them if you want.
Okay.
Don't worry, there's spell check in the chat. So, Ron, how about you? Any opinion on this?
I think what John said was wonderful. I mean, that's one way to approach it. But again, it all depends. My feeling is if they're talking to me, again, if they shut me right down, I'm wasting my time. All right, wasting my time. But if I'm not shut down, they're talking to me. And basically, I would say, now your friend or family in the business, they must know all about your personal financing and everything at this point, don't they? And wait for the answer. And they're going to say, no, why would they? Well, do you want them to know that now? Because that's what you're going to have to share with them. And I want to ask you a question. If you ever got like really upset with them, do you think that would ruin your relationship? Would you be able to fire them if they worked for you? Oh, you can't. Oh, yeah, not a good idea. How about a second opinion anyway? We could talk. It would be great. And then you decide what you want to do. But, and then you can compare what I say to what they say. And then see if you feel more comfortable working with someone who you don't have a relationship with, who's focused just for you. And that's the way they buy their milk, bread, and pay their mortgage.
Yeah, I love it. And depending on how much rapport you have and the type of personality, you might want to slide in a story of that actually happening. So like for me, I had a story of a close friend who was working with an agent who was also a close friend. And they told me, we were talking about it. They told me that they actually ran into a sticky situation because they were very unhappy with the service and what was happening and how the agent was handling it. But because they were friends, they did not want to hurt the relationship. And at the end of the day, the homeowner was the one that got hurt. Right. And so John, and then followed up by John, obviously, you don't want to potentially end in that situation. So I think it's worth having a discovery meeting and getting a second opinion. So a lot of different ways to tackle it. I think this is all really good stuff. So Jenny,
Isaiah, when you're in face to face with them and you've made a presentation, then they hit you with that. My favorite, look them square in the eye and go, why am I here? And they're because obviously they're screaming to you, I don't want to work with my cousin. I don't know what to say to them. How do I get out of this without offending them? And that's where you need to be very, empathy, you do that and you call them and tell them when it's signed.
Right. Because they might be, I think if I'm hearing you right, they might want to be working with somebody else but they're concerned about the fear of offending their family member or their friend that's good. So coaching them through the process of how they can feel comfortable, how you'll handle it is going to probably help them.
Yeah.
Good. That's awesome. And this is a really important one because let's be real about it. If we didn't find a good way to handle this objection, anytime it got brought up, we wouldn't have any business because everyone knows an agent. Everyone knows an agent, right? So, and it's a very common objection that comes up, and it's one that you absolutely have to master because 1 out of 5 appointments, you'll probably get it. I don't know the statistic, but in Rochester, if there's 300,000 people and there's 3,000 agents, right? So the odds of, do that math, the odds of them knowing one agent, out of 300,000 people is pretty darn high, right? So, good stuff. Really good stuff.
Remember too, we're always trying to analyze why they're objecting. Are they afraid to make a decision? Do they want to put it off? They don't want to appear easy, or they want to test you. I mean, you got to figure that out. But the important thing for you is to realize there's an objection here. There's only going to be maybe 7, but again, this is, if they're going to throw that, I got somebody I know already in the business, just like the gal said, everybody has a license. Everybody's in the business, but doesn't mean they're qualified.
That's right. That's right. Dvorka asked her a great question. She said, would you recommend working together with the family member if it is a family member?
That's the worst thing you could do. Let me tell you, the worst thing you can do is business with your family. Maybe it's just the Italian people. I don't know. I don't like but, because they're so, especially in this is in most cases, the largest asset somebody has. All right. And to trust that with a family member is not always a good idea, especially if things go south, and not because of them, but how do they handle it? And a lot of people also think because I work my family member, I'm going to get a break on the commission. Okay, that's possible. But again, firm believer, you get what you pay for. And if you're not paying for it, obviously you're not going to get it. Right. So just be aware of that. But it's something that can be handled at that time. And just be, again, lots of questions. Put some ideas in their head, did you think about it this way? What happens if this happens? How are you going to feel if this happens? Okay, because things in the business happen and everything could go nice and smooth. And the day before closing, everything hits the fan and they could be homeless. Yeah. And
so Ron, just to clarify, so if you're an agent and you wouldn't suggest trying to work with that other agent dually or in a situation to work together to help that homeowner, I think was what she's asking.
What I could do is as far as dually, no, because number one, I'm not going to teach somebody how to do business, and I don't want them to see how I do business because they're my competitor. But what I would do is I would offer them a referral fee, even though they don't deserve it. But I would offer them a referral fee, and I would let them consult with me through the family if they wanted to, and that would help them as well. Just
perfect timing. Jenny just asked that question. Should I offer a referral fee? So you just answered the question. Awesome.
Yep. Good.
That's great.
Way to think, Jenny.
Cool. Great. All right. We got time for one. How much for a referral fee was the question?
I'd start at 10%, I mean, normally it's 25, but remember, they didn't refer you anything. Mm-hmm. You're just trying to, okay, I'll take 90% better than losing it all,
Yeah. So somewhere between, try not to go to 25.
Don't go crazy.
Mm-mm. Try not to, but if you need to.
Yeah.
Yep. So cool. Awesome. So we're right at 2:15 here. And I think this is great. Let's just do one more question if we have one. If we don't, this is a good spot to end. we're going to keep rolling. We got some more good stuff with you next week. Beverly's coming back. And if you guys like this format, shoot me a chat if you like today's format. We switched it up a little bit and with the live calling, you know, so if you like hearing the live calling, let us know. And we'll keep, you know, Jenny says she loves it. Awesome. We'll keep it rolling. So just so everyone knows what to expect, we're going to open up with the 7 steps every week, talk a little bit about it, do some role play, spend some time making live prospecting calls, and then talking about negotiating deals, and stay in that format until we've just beat this topic to death, and we've handled every single objection, every single scenario, every single circumstance on every type of lead. We're going to keep it rolling. Invite your team. Okay. Invite your team, get your team to show up to these, because let's face it, like if your agents are going out, if you have a team and your agents are going out on appointments, they need to hear this stuff. Right. And make sure your team shows up, give them the link, send them the link personally. Right. Help them get on and engage, and the more people, the better. We're also going to try to find a way to make an opportunity for you guys to join us live and talk on camera. If you want to do some role play, we're going to circle some of that in there as we continue to go along with our series. With that, we love you guys. We appreciate your business, and we love being able to contribute any way we can. I learn something every time myself. I hop on one of these, and I hope you guys have an awesome, awesome rest of your week. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks, Beatty. Thanks, guys. See ya. Bye-bye.